So, welcome to our very first episode. This is kind of a quick mini episode. It's kind of a start here, telling you what the podcast is and who I am. So, this isn't going to be what the podcast is like. This is more of an infomercial of what it is that you're listening to. So, the podcast is called You're Better Than That. And I'm called Hannah, and I am the founding director of Sidekick. And this is my podcast, along with my friends and my guests. We'll be really looking at how we can do better and be who we are at our best. So let's start with the podcast and why it's called You're Better Than That. I recognise that You're Better Than That sounds a little bit provocative, like I'm telling you who you are isn't good enough, and that's absolutely not the point. But you are better than that. You are better than you currently are. There is a better you, there is a better me available every day as we grow. And the idea behind You're Better Than That is to try and encourage you, to push you, to gently nudge you towards what is you at your best. And how do we get a little bit closer to that every day? How do we use who you are, your gifts and talents, and encourage you to get rid of the stuff that gets in the way and really be you at your best? And I remember once when I was an assistant head, there was a situation with a couple of team members where something had happened that had gone a bit wrong. And I remember saying to them, as friends, as colleagues, guys, we're better than this. You're better than that. And actually, it's a way of saying, don't settle for less. So each episode will be around this idea of you're better than that. So each episode may be called something like you're better than self-doubt, you're better than playing small, you're better than thinking less of yourself, you're better than staying stuck, you're better than not letting go of stuff, you're better than playing small or thinking small, you're better than all these different things that hold us back from being our best self. So the idea behind You're Better Than That is that together, through stories from my life, things that I'm learning about how I'm growing, my life as a coach, my life as a mom, as a wife, as a grown-up daughter, as a friend, what am I learning through all those things in my life and the mad juggle? And also learning through the coaching conversations that I'm having with people. So I'm going to share a bit from conversations I've had from the coaching space, things that people are teaching me. And we'll also have guests on who will share what they're learning and get a chance to hear from their perspectives. And you will have the chance to ask me questions. So we're going to try and have a bit of a Q&A element as well, where we answer a question or two around something that you might want a bit of insight into. So it's going to be very story-based, very example-based, and very much about what does it look like to just do a little bit better on our everyday life so that we're being more and more ourselves at our best. And hopefully it'll be fun and hopefully it will be honest. It's not going to be scripted. It's really designed to be reflective of what we're learning and encouraging you to do the same as you go. So that's You're Better Than That. That's what that means. And I guess the other thing to mention is, and people ask me this a lot, my company's called Hello Sidekick. And why are we called Sidekick? For some people, the whole idea of sidekick is a bit of a negative thing. They think of a sidekick as somebody who is like an also-ran or somebody who comes alongside, and it's not really about them, it's about somebody else. And actually, for me, that's exactly what my job is, to be a sidekick for you. My job is to be that person that comes alongside and supports you. So think Hermione to Harry, think Piglet to Winnie the Pooh, or Robin to Batman. Actually, none of those people, none of those stories, none of those fictional stories or real people you can think of can be who they are without a sidekick who's helping them. In fact, they'd never be themselves at their best. They'd never be better than that if they didn't have that person coming alongside them. So I'm unashamedly owning the sidekick thing. I'm unashamedly here to improve your story. And actually, a sidekick is normally an expert in some way or another. They're a guide. They have something that the person in the story doesn't have. And they cover off their weaknesses or bring a different perspective. So I want to be your sidekick on this podcast. I want to be able to do that with as many people as I can. I don't recognise or think that I have all the answers, but I get to talk with a lot of people. I get to learn from a lot of people. And so I want to share that with you all. And I also spend a lot of time thinking about personality. So I understand personality pretty well. I use a tool called Clifton Strengths, and that idea of knowing who you are, knowing what you do best, is exactly what I want to weave into our podcast and the way we do these together. So come with me, come on the journey. Please get involved. You can hit the subscribe button and come and be a friend and find out how you can be you even better than you already are.